Hello friends, welcome to my channel, Recap Stories. Today, we discuss the story of Olivia. It begins with Olivia, a girl who is sitting at her bookstore. Suddenly, a girl approaches her and starts asking for an autograph on one of Olivia's books. This is where we find out that Olivia is a writer. After some time, her boyfriend, John, arrives. Olivia talks to him about the plans she made for their vacation. Olivia was thinking of spending 2 days on an island, but John shatters her dreams. He tells her that they should focus on the future, and it is important to take a short break from such plans. After saying this, he leaves, and Olivia is left feeling very upset about the decision. Meanwhile, the story shifts to another character, Alexander. Alexander is a successful violinist and also a prince from a royal family. He is reading Olivia's written book when his secretary comes to him and hands him a letter from Dr. Lee, inviting him to Coco Island for a project. This project was his father's dream, which he could not complete. Alexander is happy about the invitation, but his mother reminds him that in 2 days, he has a meeting with Queen Catherine to discuss their marriage plans. Alexander convinces his mother that if he does not attend the project, the media will create negative stories about them. Finally, his mother agrees. On the other hand, Olivia is unable to focus on her work after the breakup. Her boss is upset with her because she was supposed to finish her task in 10 days, but she hasn't been able to write anything. Seeking peace of mind, she goes to the bookstore, where Alexander is also present. They accidentally bump into each other, and Olivia's books fall. Alexander helps her, but when he looks at her, he tries to recognize her in surprise. He asks Olivia, "Have we met before?" Olivia replies, "No, I've never seen you before." Saying this, she leaves the place. Later, Alexander looks at the cover of the book and realizes that the author is his favorite writer. He quickly rushes outside to search for her, but Olivia has already left. In the next scene, we see Olivia at her home, and she is in a bad state. She is trying hard to write but seems to have lost her creative abilities. At this moment, her best friend, Katie, arrives, who immediately understands her distress. Katie suggests that she take a short trip to the island where Olivia wanted to go with John. Maybe this will not only bring her peace but also inspire her to come up with new ideas for writing. Olivia agrees to this idea, and the two of them set off on their journey. After a few hours, they land at the island's airport. Meanwhile, Olivia's secretary, Winston, arrives on the same island via his private jet and heads directly to a hotel. At that moment, both Olivia and Winston are staying at different hotels, but they are on the same island. The hope is that fate will bring them together again because those whose meeting is destined, they will eventually cross paths. Katie heads to the swimming pool from her room, while Olivia tries once more to work on her novel, but she still struggles to write. Exhausted, she decides to head towards the pool as well. On her way, she spots John, who is on the island with his new girlfriend, Tiffany. Seeing them, Olivia hides. At that moment, Alexander arrives from behind and, seeing her hidden, teases her. However, he immediately apologizes and tells her that he has read her book and loved it. Olivia is surprised by the compliment, but Alexander doesn't reveal that he is actually a prince. Just then, Katie arrives, and upon seeing Alexander, she is immediately impressed. Katie becomes lost in her thoughts about Alexander, while Olivia pulls her to the swimming pool, where they only talk about John. Katie doesn't pay much attention, as she is still distracted by Alexander. On the other hand, Alexander visits Drive, Lee's lab, where he is delighted to see rare fish that have been preserved to save nature. Winston arrives and informs him that Dr. Lee will not be able to attend the event, and the responsibility will now fall on Alexander. Alexander is taken aback, but Winston reassures him that everything will be taken care of. The next morning, Olivia and Katie sit down for breakfast when they spot Alexander with Winston. Alexander says that he is going to meet the girls, introducing Winston as his friend and mentioning that he works under him. During the meeting, Alexander invites them to join him at the beach the next day to hang out. At first, Olivia declines the offer, but Katie convinces her, and she agrees. Meanwhile, we see an elderly man, Ridley, who is constantly keeping an eye on Alexander. He is doing so under someone's orders, providing updates periodically. Ridley reports that everything is going smoothly. The following day, everyone gathers at the beach, and the plan goes as scheduled. Alexander joins them, and they all have a great time. They even play volleyball with John and Tiffany, beating them, much to John's dismay. He leaves in anger. Later, Alexander and Olivia take a walk on the beach alone. They begin to have a deep conversation. Olivia shares that her goal in life is to become a famous author. Alexander tells her about his mother, who doesn't approve of him thinking too much about protecting nature or the environment. She focuses only on wealth, but Alexander loves saving animals. The two start to develop feelings for each other, but Olivia still has no idea that Alexander is a prince. She believes he is just an ordinary man. Back in the hotel room, Olivia begins writing the story for her new book when Katie enters with exciting news. She has started dating Winston. Olivia is thrilled by this news. Just then, a man arrives at the door with a bottle of champagne. It is Ridley, who is trying to get Olivia's name under the pretext of delivering a gift from the hotel staff. Olivia, seeing it as a trivial matter, accepts it. However, Ridley learns her name and quickly reports it to the Queen. The Queen searches for Olivia's details online and discovers that she is just an ordinary writer, not a princess. The Queen is not pleased by this, as she was not looking for such a girl for her son. She orders Ridley to separate them by any means necessary. That night, Winston advises Alexander that he should reveal the truth to Olivia the next day, or things might get worse. Alexander agrees with Winston and decides to go to Olivia the next day. But as soon as he begins to confess, Ridley arrives and addresses him as, "Your Highness." Olivia is taken aback, and Alexander's plan is ruined. After this, the Queen advises Alexander that she has already chosen a girl for him and that it's better for him to return home immediately. However, Alexander disregards the Queen's wishes and heads straight to Olivia, explaining that he was about to tell her the truth when everything went wrong. Olivia, angry, questions why he lied. Alexander explains that he wanted to live as an ordinary man, which is why he kept his identity hidden. Olivia somewhat agrees with his statement and forgives him. They both plan for lunch together. On the other hand, Ridley contacts Queen and informs her that the task assigned to him has been completed. However, he also mentions that he has never seen Alexander so happy as he is with Olivia. Ridley wants to say more but remains silent for some reason, hinting that there might be a secret between them. During lunch, Olivia notices that the preparations for the night event are not yet completed. She offers to help Alexander. As a thank you, Alexander invites her to his private yacht. On the yacht, he takes her close to the depths of the sea, which makes Olivia incredibly happy. These moments become some of the most memorable in Olivia's life. Later that evening, while heading towards the event, Alexander and Olivia bump into John, who had been left alone after a fight with his girlfriend. John apologizes to Olivia, admitting that leaving her was a big mistake. He tells her, "Whoever you choose to be with will be very lucky." Saying this, he walks away. At the event that night, Alexander, dressed in royal attire, waits for Olivia. When she arrives, Alexander is stunned by her beauty. During the event, Alexander delivers the speech that Olivia had written. Afterwards, they dance together, and in that moment, Alexander expresses his feelings. Olivia accepts his love. However, at that very moment, Queen arrives at the event. Alexander is shocked to see her. Queen invites them to sit at the dining table, which changes the dynamics of the situation. Olivia notices that Ridley's behavior with Queen is quite friendly and calm. She mentions this to Alexander, but he brushes it off. A little while later, Alexander is sent to greet the guests, which he reluctantly agrees to do. Meanwhile, Queen asks Olivia questions that no one had ever asked before and insults her by saying, "Girls like you always manipulate rich boys and then take away their money." Olivia is deeply hurt by this and, in anger, walks out, heading straight to the lounge. There, she tells Katie everything, and Katie advises that they should leave. They pack their things and leave. When the news reaches the city, Winston informs Alexander that Katie had told him everything. Furious, Alexander goes to his mother and directly questions her, "Why don't you want to see your daughter happy? You must be tired of holding on to the traditions of our family, and I am too." Alexander continues, we are tired of lying, and you hide your own happiness from others. How can you care about what others think? Upon hearing this, his mother starts crying and says, if I told people that I want to live with my bodyguard, what would they say? They would even say I had my husband killed so I could be with my bodyguard. Alexander replies, why risk your happiness for others' opinions? If you like Ridley, be with him without hesitation. After hearing this, Ridley becomes emotional, and his mother realizes that she was wrong. Meanwhile, Olivia completes her novel and hands it over to her boss. He tells her that it doesn't have a happy ending. Olivia replies, not every story has to end beautifully. Life is like that too. Just then, someone arrives at the gate, and it's none other than Alexander, accompanied by Katie and Winston. Alexander enters and confesses his love to Olivia, saying, I want to share every precious moment of my life with you, moments that cannot be bought at any cost. Will you be a part of my life? Olivia replies, your mother has other plans. At that moment, Queen also arrives. She apologizes to Olivia and says, I am ready to accept you because of you, I found my love. Saying this, she leaves. Afterwards, Olivia hugs Alexander and says, I was wrong, every story does have a good ending, it just takes a true heart to make it happen. How did you like the story? Please make sure to comment below. I kindly request you to help me reach 10,000 subscribers on my channel as soon as possible. We hope that you all will enjoy this video and like it. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for your loving comments. See you in the next video.